Like almost everyone, I was shocked when Russian troops actually crossed the border into Ukraine. I understand to a degree why Russia feels threatened by the military presence of NATO. But the destructive violence of this attack is terrible. And like many, it caused me to think deeply and with anguish about the historical trends of thought that have developed into this crisis, trends of thought that go back 1,000 years. These are the same trends that the Russian president addressed. And this is my response to him. It's written in an elegiac form, which is simply the way that I think. Song of the Dnieper Fisherwoman. In the great rivers that run through our dreams, divide the continents, delineate rain-woven mountain ranges, we search the watersheds from which emerge the slow formation of thought. Out of their haunted breath, language tumbles, splashing stones slowly worn to unpredictable polished gravel teeth in the tongue of unrelenting currents, like a god playing flute in the forest. Since the beginning, they turn and widen, collecting tributaries, deposit cities in the floodplain, move the boundary stones of epics, of vast orchestral intelligence, a fisherwoman singing in the dawn. Let's go back to the beginning, to the glacial upheavals, to the breaking of ice, to the forested hills north of Moscow, to the peat mineral wells where all broad rivers of Russia rise, to a weaver's hut on the moor. That's where she sets out her song, arranging primary threads on the loom, the aboriginal mother of the Kalevala poets. After the flood, when the three sons of Noah divided the earth among their inhabitants, from the shores of Ladoga to the banks of Novgorod, three sons of the Slavic forest, hunting the white eagle, descended the rivers to the corners of the world, to the three seas, to the Kurgan steppe, encountering migrating tribes from the east. Varangians came. Or let us begin the tale in this manner, brothers. When Andrew carried the origin of all words to the ancient Greek city on the Black Sea, to the place where Vladimir would enter the waters, where the sea held back the way every year to an underwater grotto, to the place where Clement felt silent at last, and his silence was worth more than all his words. He saw that the mouth of the Dnieper was nearby, and conceiving an inspiration to know what was this river, what peoples it fed, what they could become if washed in its waves, a lineage of right-believing kings along its banks as far as Valam in Ladoga, Andrew said, "Do you see these hills, brothers? Do you see the holy wisdom that will be built here, the kind of labors dug out of its caves? Few in this world will ever understand it. The way that water moves, gentle, inquisitive, undeterred with sinuous equations caressing the granite base of pinnacles to sand in its hands, foretells the direction of all our highways and the shape of human converse. At the foundation of thought is a song, and at the foundation of song, in first light, the Dnieper fisherwoman rows out to see where the current will take her. All night her forethought formed in dreams provisions for such a journey. Searching the widespread eloquence of waters, quiet as the heron, to catch one glimpse, a silver counter-movement, subsidiary to the melodic translucence to drop her nets into. Her search is fed by histories she knows and histories she does not know. In the river's tremendous reach back in time, farther than any remembrance, not even those whom her ancestors forgot. the song of the Don Cossacks, who stand and die at the gates of Kharkiv, who search the rubble for children lost. One clear artesian upwelling, where poets dipped their tongues in the mighty chronicles of flood, expands in waterfalls, chords swelling up through masterful fingers like tales of heroes born along these banks, like the old epics that hold their grip all through the creative topography of our dreams. Let us sing of Oskold and deer, as Boyan the seer sang on the hill above the Don for the boyars of Prince Igor on the night before the battle, one hand dancing hard over the gooselie, the other thrust toward storm clouds that bring thunder to feed the rivers. Like a thunderbolt, the progenitor of storms, the Viking ships appeared on the Sea of Marmara. Raiders, sometimes traders, with amber, timber, honey from the forest rivers for Byzantine gold. But when they saw the glory of Byzantium, they said, "This is the goal of all our wanderings, to take this city and its riches, to become whatever it is that can shape such wonders." At the source of all thought is an invocation, a litany of peace, a cry for deliverance. Photius on the walls of Miklagard held up the ancient icon, and the Mother of God unfolded her protecting veil. But the Rus saw visions of judgment written in lightning. Ships rammed each other in terror to escape, and to the end of their days pondered on what they had seen. Now the tanks rumble across the Dnieper, where Olga planted her churches on Oskold's burial mound. These are our own mothers and brothers. We shall take their seaports with much slaughter, bomb their maternity hospitals and children's shelters, raise our tank cannons in salute to cremate them in their own homes. Ukraine will never forget our fatherly benevolence. You priests sing and you people praise. Police tie down your tongues with a blood-red gag. In the sediments of thought, we lay the foundations of our bridges, erect our superstructures, steel philosophies at an angle to the light, eroded meanings of heroes painted over with ideological revisions, through dark swamps cut off from the current, where Baba Yaga weaves her tortuous waterways in the scarred geography of cataclysmic eruptions. In slow putrefaction, the drink grows poison. Or might it behoove us, brothers, to begin in the ancient strains the grievous lay of Prince Igor's campaign? Then let us begin according to the events of our time, and not according to the prophecies of Boyan. For he, Boyan, the seer, when composing a song for someone, soared in his thought over the trees, flew below the clouds as a gray-blue eagle. When he recalled the feuds of former times, he would let loose 10 falcons upon a flock of swans, and the first swan overtaken was the first to sing a song, to Yaroslav the wise, to Mstislav the brave. Let us begin this narration, comrades, from the old times of Vladimir to the present time of another Vladimir. Igor looked up at the bright sun and saw that all his warriors became enveloped in darkness. And Prince Vladimir the New spoke to his warriors, "Comrades and warriors, it is better to be killed in battle than to let this people escape, becoming our captives." And the prince's mind was seized with ambition, and the desire to drink from the great river Dnieper concealed the evil omens from him. "I want, O my Russians, either to drink with you Dnieper from my helmet or to leave my tanks there." It is not a storm that has driven the falcons over the wide prairie. It is a formation of fighter jets racing towards the first city of Kievan Rus. And Prince Vladimir the New set his foot in the rocket launchers and rode into the open prairie. The sun barred his way with darkness, and night, moaning with tempest, awoke the birds. The whistling of the hypersonic missiles arose, and the div arose, and from the treetops it cried. What a glorious day on the Moskva! The people stood on tanks in Red Square. When the sons of Mstislav fled back to the northern forests, when Yuri of the Long Arm tore down the oaks for the first stockade on this tributary of Volga, Dmitri, hero of the Don, obedient to the pillar of fire for the Russian forest, Sergei, was first to fight off the Mongol invaders. He surrounded this fortress with white stone walls adorning the Moscow Kremlin with churches to the Mother of God. She spread her protecting veil through the light, inheriting frescoes of Rublev, not on the walls of Miklagard, but of Moscow. Not Photius, but Cyprian, master of the pure, unceasing invocation at the source of existence, took hold of her ancient icon from Vladimir, Monomach's icon from Byzantium long ago, Andrei the god-loving prince's icon, Alexander of the Neva rivers, and he wept. We have no other protection. She took her stands on the banks of Don, showed her majestic countenance to Tamerlane. In terror, he crept back into the steppes. Now in the ruins of Mariupol, they cry for her intercession. These were princes, mature in the sanctified humanity of prayer. These were the princes of Kievan Rus, leaders who showed what a man could become, inspiring men to lay down even their lives. These were among the last to carry in their hearts the blood of Olga and Vladimir the Enlighteners. If a time of troubles followed, it was never so repressive a shadow as in the days of Stalin that this more violent Vladimir remembers so fondly, sending fury from Belarus, young men who know not what they do. Another Svyatopolk the accursed, the fratricide. We thought he might weave together the broken geography of the rivers. We thought he might make Russia whole again. We didn't realize he would open the gates of hell. At the origin of all thought is an invocation, incense rising in the dark cathedral to the ring of standing archangels radiating from the face of the Pantocrator where a cruise missile came through the dome. I can still hear those ancient melodies from the forest and steppe, the holy wisdom in the watersheds in which her first thought moved in countermeasure, one pure invocation at the origin of our existence, the elegy of the rivers she sang as she turned to the road of exile, wandered through ruin into the rain of indiscriminate gunfire. It is not her empty boat that drifts down past Kherson into the hushed Black Sea. It is a floating casket, one of many thousands in slow procession. Mothers along the shore, Ukrainian and Russian, weeping, raise the song of the Dnieper fisherwoman. Russia, holy Russia, what have you done? Turn back into the season of the sacred Lenten repentance. Beg our merciful Creator, give peace to the world, calm the raging of nations. Keep well the tombs of these cities until their youth is renewed in the land of resurrection.